hard to describe.
It's scary.
Yeah, your perspective changes.
Larry Dumas and Sabrina Gibson say they never expected to become homeless.
Came down to see my mom, and there was no place to stay.
I didn't know where to go. I didn't know where the help was.
A few years ago, Sabrina was looking for a fresh start, but she quickly discovered her new beginning would come from a struggle.
The best place for me to start out is a homeless shelter.
2 years ago, Larry Dumas left Longview, Texas to visit his mother here in Corpus Christi. He says he took shelter near the beach.
You really don't know what it's like unless you've been there.
Dumas and Gibson say they got lucky after finding the Good Samaritan. This is where they met Carol Murphy, the woman who's restoring dignity in the homeless.
They begin to feel like the shame lifts off of them.
Murphy says within these walls are 200 different people, all with 200 different stories.
You cannot stereotype the problem or the person.
This safe haven is more than a shelter and place to get free meals. People who stay at Good Samaritan learn how to start over and return to a normal life.
Just because we're homeless, it doesn't mean we're helpless and we're hopeless.
Larry was able to work in the thrift shop, but now he's headed back to Longview.
You have opportunities here, and you just try and be the best you can every day.
Yet not every homeless person has the same desires as Larry and Sabrina.
Many of them choose to live that lifestyle. They really do.
These shelters have rules, and for those who cannot follow them,
they're on the street.
Sheriff J.C. Hooper may be newer to his position, but after decades in law enforcement, he is more than familiar with the growing homeless population in Corpus Christi.
I'd venture to say that the majority of the people, the homeless people that you see here in the downtown area, have been in this jail. Maybe last week, and very likely next week.
In 2018, there were more than 1,300 bookings from homeless people in Nueces County Jail. Many of these bookings, Sheriff Hooper says, are from repeat offenders.
They get into the jail, usually on that criminal trespass charge, and they're held for a short period of time and then released, and then the cycle continues.
Within this cycle, similar services as a homeless shelter. In exchange for their criminal record is a free meal, shower, and even medical care.
We're not a service entity. We're not a service facility for the homeless.
Sheriff Hooper says it's expensive to run a jail, and homeless offenders are costing taxpayers even more money. The daily average cost of an inmate is $81.
There are some inmates in this county jail that cost $10 a day. There are other inmates, because of their medical condition, their psychiatric condition, that cost $300, $400, $500 a day.
While it's an expensive business, the sheriff explains taking care of people is a part of operating the jail. He believes Corpus Christi needs to look at other cities like San Antonio, where they have a one-stop shop for anyone who's homeless. At the Haven of Hope, people can receive the care they need without a night behind bars.
The county jail is not a haven for hope. The county jail is a detention facility where people need to be as they're waiting their next step in the criminal justice system.
But is there potential for a haven in Corpus Christi? Rudy Trevino introduces us to Patty Clark with Metro Ministries. She has high hopes for a shelter that can accommodate anyone who is homeless without beginning a criminal record.
There are a lot that we can't reach, and that's the thing that hurts the most.
Clark says in December alone, they served more than 8,000 meals from their kitchen. She says not only is the population increasing, but the age when people are becoming homeless is decreasing.
Many, many years ago, the face of homelessness was a man on the street begging. But today, the average age of a homeless person in America is 9 years old.
Captain Patrick Gesner with the Salvation Army says they are running out of resources.
More resources are needed by each of us in order to provide for them.
Captain Gesner says Corpus Christi is also lacking affordable housing.
We're trying to do everything we can to provide for the need, but the need has definitely increased.
Recently, shelter directors have discovered a trend that is working against people who are trying to help the homeless population.
It's horrendous.
Murphy and other directors are learning that other cities in the U.S. are sending their homeless people to Corpus Christi.
How dare these other cities just dump someone? I mean, look how the person feels that's being dumped from one city to the next.
Murphy says it's taxing the already limited resources for homeless people.
I want to take care of the ones from here.
So is there a solution for the increase in the homeless population? These women say it's complicated and it will take multiple efforts to combat the problem.
We do have to deal with it holistically.
Professor Sarah Scott at Texas A&M Corpus Christi led her students on a research project. The purpose? To evaluate initiatives aimed at helping the homeless population.
Some of the programs, like the housing program, are a little bit more controversial. They take a lot of community buy-in, and they can't be done very quickly.
Students started by looking at the Community First Village in Austin, Texas, and other communities throughout the nation.
It provides housing, but it provides more than that. The reason they're called Community First is because it's really about providing a community.
Dr. Scott's research program has also opened the door to a homeless workers program.
It could beautify our downtown, perhaps help with tourism, help us be more likely to go downtown and enjoy all the stuff that we have down there too.
Speaking of tourism, a recent study found the homeless population is also deterring visitors from going downtown. Paulette Kluge with the Convention and Visitors Bureau says it's starting to hurt tourism.
The number one issue when people travel for vacation with their families is safety. And we are not perceived as a completely safe city.
Kluge says this is why she's a part of the Homeless Issue Partnership. She thinks tiny homes are a good place to start.
It's working in other cities, and I think we need to continue at least evaluating it here to see if it would work for us.
All of these people know there is not an overnight fix, but they do believe ending homelessness starts with the community.
It is a Corpus Christi problem. All of us as citizens have to find a way to deal with the issues that the homeless face.
Whether it's donating to a cause,
we really do need more funding,
or simply spreading kindness.
We really need the help of the community, helping hand up, a smile from somebody, a hi.
These shelter directors say the best way to end homelessness is by getting involved.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what came first. We're trying to help them unwrap it and just kind of like starfish, one at a time, we're going to help people move on to independent lives.
All as citizens have to come together and provide the solutions to. And so we as the Salvation Army are always willing to be part of that conversation. We want to be part of that because there is hope and we can all be part of that.